go out. There's so many people who needs to hear your music. Um, it doesn't have to be fancy performance settings. It really
Mhm.
doesn't have to. Please share your musical gift with others so that people can be touched by your beauty.
Welcome to the Practicing Harp Happiness podcast. I'm Anne Sullivan, a harpist on a mission to empower every harpist to experience more harp happiness. Over my decades-long harp journey, I've had lots of successes and more than a few failures, and I know firsthand what it's like to feel that playing the harp the way you want may not be possible for you. Now I play and teach all over the world, and I know what most harpists are never taught: the secrets to gaining the skills and confidence you need to play the harp with beauty, freedom, and joy. That's what the Practicing Harp Happiness podcast is all about, showing you simple steps to help you play the music you want the way you want. If you're an experienced harpist looking for that next level, or a harp newbie anxious to avoid the pitfalls, or a harpist who just wants more fulfillment and a little encouragement, you're in the right place, my friend. So let's get started. First, I want to let you in on something special. I think the most important thing you can do for your harp playing is to develop the habits that lead to success, whatever that looks like for you. All of us want to learn how to play the harp beautifully, how to play with confidence and enjoy making music. And if you really want to learn those things, videos are great, but live learning is essential. You need to be able to ask questions and get answers. You can't do that with just a video, which is what makes the My Harp Mastery community so special. My Harp Mastery membership is for those who really want an online experience that lets them learn at their own pace and learn what they want and be able to learn live from expert coaches every single week. Plus, you get to connect with other harpists in the community who have the same desires for their playing. This is not only a powerful learning platform, but it's also the most generous community of harpists anywhere on the planet. They're harpists with a positive outlook, a growth mindset, and a spirit of support for their fellow harpists on the journey with them. We're ready for you. Join us. Just go to harpmastery.com/join-now. That's harpmastery.com/join-now. Welcome to the show. I don't do very many interviews on this podcast. I started this show as a way to help harpists with their learning, and I wanted and still want to be able to use this podcast to teach, to encourage, and to inspire harpists all over the world. But over the last year, I have realized that there are other voices I want to be sure that you hear. After all, learning comes in many forms, and hearing a variety of voices and viewpoints enriches us and our harp playing in so many ways. So during 2026, one of my objectives is to bring you into conversations with harpists, musicians, and others who inspire me. These are people I want you to meet, even if it's only in this podcast format, because I want to share the inspiration that they have brought me with you. And I know it's not 2026 yet, but we're going to start with that today. I have a really special interview that I want to share with you. And because I don't want to interrupt it, I want to let you know about a couple of important things going on at Harp Mastery right now before we get started. And the biggest one of those is our 12 Days of Harp Happiness. This is something we've done annually for a number of years now. And so for the first 12 days of December, we have 12 days of special music and special deals for you on lots of things related to harp mastery. So we have special things, and you'll be able to access them from this particular page. I will put the link to that page in today's show notes. But if you're on our email list, it will also show up in your email and, of course, in the Harp Mastery Hub if you are a Hub member. And I certainly hope you are. Everything good happens in the Hub, that's for sure. So the 12 Days of Harp Happiness is starting today, Monday, December 1st. And I have some music to share with you, a brand new carol arrangement. And we have discounts on things in the shop. And we have a very special offer for the Getaway Retreat. If you have not yet signed up for the Getaway Retreat, I would really encourage you to do that. Our special pricing has ended. It ended yesterday, Sunday, November 30th. But you can still take advantage of this special bonus that I'm offering just today. That's December 1st. Now, our registration will continue to be open until we run out of rooms, but I encourage you to make this decision quickly. And if you can get in there and do it today, you will have this special bonus, which is a 1-hour lesson or coaching with me whenever you want it between now and the retreat, whenever we can work that out. And it will just jumpstart you for anything that you want to work on at the retreat, because that's what the retreat is about. It's about progress. It's about helping you do what you want to do. And so that's the special bonus for our first day of Harp Happiness. But we have special things coming up on all 12 days, and you won't want to miss it. So be sure to follow the link in the show notes or wherever you get to Harp Mastery. We'll post it on the Harp Mastery site, and of course it'll be in the hub and on social media as well. So check it out and follow along for all 12 days. It's always a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, let me introduce you to a new friend of mine. Her name is Leah Kim. Leah is a violinist, and her story starts in South Korea. Her story is truly an awe-inspiring one, and as you will hear, she shared a lot of it in our conversation. Since coming to the United States from Korea, she's performed and taught extensively, and currently she is the Fine Arts Department Chair and Director of Music at Villa Maria Academy High School near Philadelphia. And she's founder and director of the Villa Maria Conservatory. She's a violinist in several string quartets and founder and director of the Pennsylvania Youth Orchestra and Chamberstrings Summer Camp. Now, as impressive as that is, it is her latest project that caught my attention, and this is why I wanted to talk with her today. This year, she founded Music Angels, a nonprofit organization with a mission to inspire and educate music students and musicians about the healing power of music, particularly through music therapy. Music Angels aims to be a bridge of hope and healing for those troubled, lonely, or sick, harnessing the transformative power of music. What you will discover as Leah and I talk is how Music Angels is not just about performing for others. It's about the ways in which we as musicians are enriched by sharing our music. So you can see why I felt this fit right in with our focus on harp happiness. So let's get right to my conversation with Leah Kim of Music Angels. Let me introduce you all to Leah Kim. And I'm so excited that you are here with us, Leah, and thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you.
I was so excited when I got to meet you and when you told me about your Music Angels group. And you told me a really interesting story about how you got it started. Not so much even from the music standpoint, but just the fact that putting together a nonprofit organization is really tricky. I mean, this is not something we study in music school. How did you manage to do this?
Oh, I don't know. With a lot of help, with a lot of help. Um, so, my husband actually is an attorney, and he actually, when I told him that I wanted to start a nonprofit, he actually said, "I'm not helping." So, so I really had to learn. I contacted a CPA. I also contacted a local attorney, got a lot of recommendations and assistance. Um, and then they did help me a lot with paperwork. But before I did all that, I had to find other people like-minded who would like to be on my board. So then I started calling and I said, "Would you want to serve with me?" And they said yes, and that's how it began.
we often wonder, or at least I do, how these things get started because they are hard to get off the ground. But everything like this starts with a mission and a purpose, and it starts with a story.
Mm.
And I read the last issue of your newsletter, and I was just bowled over because this was a part of your story that I didn't know. So, would you mind just relating a little bit of that story that you shared in the newsletter? Because I think it's so powerful.
Oh, sure. I think it was year 2005. I was a professional violinist in an orchestra. I was one of the youngest female concert mistress they had in Korea at that time. I was performing a lot. I was about to launch a TV program for classical music and poetry, meeting with producers and working on all these details that I was supposed to do. But one morning on weekend, I went on hiking with my friends. And then I was really tired because I had, concert the night before. And so on the way back from after the hike, I asked my friend, I said, I really need to like take a break and sleep for like 10 minutes so I can drive safely. And then my friend said, I have a date I need to get to. So, and, my sister has the same car as yours. Can I drive your car? And so that's how it began. And later, I woke up in the hospital after a very, very bad car crash. My friend fell asleep on the wheel. We hit tractor trailer in the front, and we got hit by in the back with nine passengers van as well.
Oh,
Um, and my friend actually woke up right before um, she hit, so she turned. So all the impact was just at my side.
oh,
So, and plus since I was tired and I was sleeping, my seat was all the way leaned back.
oh.
So just anybody out there, when you're sleeping in the car, just in case, don't lean all the way back because that seatbelt doesn't do anything.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah, so the whole body went jerking
Oh,
all, and it had damaged my vertebrae number three, four, five, six, and also parts of my lower back as well. I was not able to walk or use my hands for months. Um, I couldn't. They told me that I probably can't play ever again, and they were not even sure I could walk again. So that's my journey coming back to music because all the music practicing that I have done through my schools and my student life and into my professional life, I dedicated all those hours into getting better. And at the hospital, they said I was the hardest patient, working patient they have ever seen because I was in therapy for over 10 hours. And they said they have never seen anybody like that. And
and that was your musical training helping you
yes,
out there, wasn't it?
and literally one finger at a time,
Oh,
one finger at a time, and then one toe at a time. Like little by little, feelings came back. Um, so I was in the hospital because I couldn't feed myself. And, obviously, I couldn't walk. So, yeah, every day was a journey.
mm.
But 8 months, it took 8 months for me to walk out of
Okay.
the hospital.
Now,
Uh,
this was in Korea.
this was in Korea, and I was lucky because I admitted myself at a medical school where they practice both Western and Eastern medicine. So I really I'm very glad that I chose the way I did because chose to go towards Eastern medicine. That way I'm not putting all these chemicals in my body.
Yeah.
So for my pain management, I had thousands of needles in my body every day for hours. That was my pain management. And, for um, physical,
Physical therapy?
physical therapy, I was in Western medicine wing. So we were just going both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when I came back to my house and tried to thinking about playing again, I was I wasn't holding the violin right away. I stood by the wall and I just lifted my arm 1 minute,
Mm.
dropped. And every minute every day I added little more. And same thing with holding the violin, same thing with using the bow. So music saved me.
And it sounds like it saved you on a couple different ends. First of all, you had I know you mentioned the word, which I think is so important. It gave you the resilience and of course, you had the habit of working and dedicating that kind of time and energy and attention, focus to
Yes.
something. So it was on that end as well. And then to think about getting back to music, I imagine that was pretty powerful too.
It was very powerful. I knew that there is a chance that I couldn't play again. And even if I played, I knew that I couldn't gain back 100%, which, I can't play Paganini anymore. Or Izai. I mean, that's
Yeah.
out. But I really prayed. For me, I'm Catholic, and faith has really saved me in many, many times. But I really prayed if I could ever play again, my playing, my playing the music will be part of my prayer. And every note is a gift that I have gotten to do. So I will praise Lord that way.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Well, now how did you end up in this country?
So I did not want to go back to orchestra job, even though my wonderful maestro Park saved my position. He said, Leah, just take as long as you want and come back. I know you can do it. And, we still talk.
Yeah.
Okay, we still talk. And I'm very thankful for him believing in me. I did go back for maybe 4 months after, but
Mhm.
it was really painful for me to sit and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that the posture sitting down and playing was very uncomfortable for me. So I tried for 4 months back and I finished the season that year. And then I put in my notice and I said, I cannot do this anymore. And I decided to come back to America to um, do my DMA.
Oh, okay.
So I came back to America. I started a doctorate degree at Temple University.
Yes. Mhm.
And then I actually never finished. I wanted my focus to be educating next
Okay.
generation musicians.
And that's what you're doing now.
Yes. And I love it.
Well, it's funny because I think God has a way of directing us to ways to use our gifts. And
Yes. Amen.
clearly this is part of your gift.
Yeah.
So,
It's
yeah.
my calling.
Yeah. Isn't it wonderful to feel that way?
Yes, yes. And I believe that I am in this place so that I can be the best version of myself.
I got goosebumps. So, and I'm right there with you. So this is fabulous. So here you are, you're teaching, and then you had this calling, this mission, this idea to start Music Angels. And we talked briefly about the mechanics of trying to start it, but what was your initial idea? What did you want to do with this organization?
Well, I wanted to make sure. Um, I don't know if you're interested in what inspired me to.
Please.
Okay, so I have two events that happened that it really inspired me. One was about 5 years ago. I was at Broome Mall shopping mall. I was coming out of Home Goods and I got into my car and this old man, he started banging on my window and he says, "Help me."
Oh,
And I turned and I said, I rolled down the window and I said, "Sir, what's wrong?" And he said, I need somebody to help me. I cannot find my car." And he
oh,
was literally in tears.
oh,
Now, I had many hours of teaching scheduled that afternoon, but I couldn't say no to this gentleman. I was like, okay. So I got out of the car and I asked him, "Do you have your key?" And he gave me his key. And I said, okay. So I started ringing and nothing was going off. So long story short, I combed the parking lot 5 times, front, back, side,
mhm.
behind, everywhere. Um, And then I couldn't find it, and I asked the sir, where have you been? Where were you here? And he said
Hmm.
he's the
Oh,
cardiologist.
yes.
So I went into cardiologist and I asked if there was an emergency contact I can contact. And I should have known better because, I'm not on the
Right. They're not going to give that information to you, right?
exactly. So he's like, we can't give it to you. So I came out and, he was actually sitting in my car. So I took his ID and his car keys so that I can show it
Hmm.
to the hospital. And on the way out, I told him, I said, when I got back, I said, I did everything I know how to help you. Is there anybody I can call? And
Hmm.
he said, I have nobody. My wife died last year, and we
Oh,
had no children. I don't have any relatives around. And I said, okay, can I just take you home? And then he lost it. He started yelling at me and he said, what good is that going to do for me? There was another gentleman waiting for his wife at the hospital. And he said, I've been watching you. He actually approached me. I've been watching you. I think it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to call the police. So I called the police, and then he can tell that older man was a little bit aggressive. And he
hmm.
said, you need to leave. I will take care of it from here. So I drove away without knowing what happened to this man.
Yeah,
And part of me was thinking, there's got to be something more that I could have done, or this society or our community can do. And so that sort of planted seed in my heart, but I
hmm,
didn't know what that was.
yeah,
And I was thinking there must be not just one, but thousands and countless people who are in the same situation as
of
he.
course.
I couldn't tell if whether it was actually a memory issue that he had, or just simply his car was missing, but there
Hmm.
was uneasiness in my heart. So I
Hmm.
walked away from it. But in the year 2023, and I absolutely didn't do anything about it that day. But in the year 2023, on President's Day, I took one of my friend who was having very difficult time because her husband was either dying or not. So she
Yeah.
was really, really suffering as a caretaker. So I asked her, say, would you go for a ride with me? I want to take you to New Jersey and watch a sunset on the ocean.
Oh,
And we don't need to speak. And I just want to be there and pray with you. And so I did. We went on a road trip to
oh,
Galloway, New Jersey.
yes. Okay.
And then we went to Forsyth Nature,
And
Preserve.
nature preserve. Hmm.
Yeah. And we just parked our car and we just looked at the sunset. And
Mm.
then on the way back, she gets a phone call. And she had it on speakerphone and I overheard their
Yes.
conversation. And it was a phone call from a former teacher of hers. And she said the teacher was over 90 and she said, I'm lonely. When are you going to come and see me? She was saying this to my friend.
Yes.
And my friend was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I will be there soon. I'll be there soon. And then they were talking about, why she was lonely and all that. It turns out that she lost her husband and her daughter within 2 weeks apart. Her daughter was a policewoman, and her husband, after 2 weeks, had a heart attack and passed away. And her daughter was shot in during the on duty,
Mm.
and so she lost two major people in her life. And she said she was really crying and she was conveying how lonely she was. And then after hearing their conversation, I said, I'm really sorry to interrupt. And I know it's not my phone conversation, but would you like me to bring some of my students to play for you? I'm not a pianist. She was a
Yeah.
pianist. I'm not a pianist, but I have a lot of students who I'm sure who'll be willing to come for conversation and music.
Yeah.
And she really started crying and she said, I would like that very much. And that's it. So I got back that day and I told my husband, I said, I'm starting a nonprofit. He said, you're crazy. because he knows how busy I am.
Yeah.
Like you're crazy. And he said, I'm not helping. But my heart and my mind was so strong that I said, even without his help, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And those two stories planted seed in my heart, and that's how I started. And then Music Angels is not just music service to people,
Yes.
but we have educational portion. The students need to learn how to share their musical gift with others. They can't just play Tchaikovsky violin concerto and thinking, oh, that's healing for the other people, or they're
Right.
enjoying it. It's not, it really isn't. So I brought in the music therapist component into our nonprofit organization, and we are training. We are actually, exposing the students to music therapy,
Mm.
how music therapy works, and so that they're learning how to use their musical talents as a tool for healing. Um,
Now you do have certified music therapists on your staff, right?
yes. So everybody on Music Angels they are all volunteers,
Hmm.
including myself,
Yeah. Yeah.
and except music therapists. Music
Hmm.
therapists do get paid. They're on our payroll because their job is to teach our members.
Yes.
So they hold workshops and then kids
Hmm.
come or adults and students, they all come and they learn about how to use the music, therapy component into their performance as well.
So describe a little bit what Music Angels does. I mean, if I were a member of Music Angels, there's a performance component because you're taking music to people who need it.
Mhm.
You're also learning, as you just described from the therapist, you're learning how to really serve people with music as opposed to just play for them. And are those really sort of the two branches, or is there more to Music Angels than that too?
So Music Angels, we are doing performances and we
Hmm.
are also conversing with the patients or people that we're serving.
Hmm.
Um, there is definitely workshop. Music therapists are giving workshops right now, 4 to 5 annually.
Wow.
And then performance component, we have several different settings. One in a group setting, where we have a whole stack of music that our members actually learn, and we just come together, we just play. We don't have weekly rehearsals, none of that is
Hmm.
happening. We trust that our volunteers are going to work on those music because they want to serve, right?
Right.
Um, so they come and then we just do little sound checks right before our performance at the location of our service and we
Hmm.
play. That's a large ensemble component performance. Second is hospice.
Mm.
Most of the hospice requests come in at last minute, and I
Yeah.
can just take maybe one or two kids with me in that setting. Hospice is usually, again, no Tchaikovsky.
Right. No, of course not.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then we have to do a background search on the patients. Is
Yeah.
this patient, what kind of religion did she or he have? What is her or his family background? So we do a little bit of research before we go to serve, and a lot of times I bring him books. Most so far, all the people that we served in hospice situation have been Christians.
Hmm.
So we had selection of a couple of songs that we played. Uh,
Hmm.
I had a hospice situation where it turned out that her husband used to play for Frank
Wow.
Sinatra.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra band. So
Hmm.
I just like off of my head, I just played Frank Sinatra songs. I didn't have sheet music, but that's
Right.
what I did. And you should have seen her fingers move, you know.
Oh,
And then,
yeah.
she's moving her fingers and she has a smile on her face
Yeah.
and more, yes, she's getting our gift, but I was watching the students who are there or the volunteers who are there, their face was being healed as well.
Yeah.
Because and gift of music is not just one way, it's both ways.
It is. I completely agree. I have been in circumstances like that, playing in different nursing homes and seeing the way it touches people, and that's a gift back. That
Right.
is absolutely a gift
Yeah.
back.
And then another setting we do is we do um, like other nonprofit organization when they request for, like background music and if it's aligned with our mission, we are
Mhm.
there to serve, other communities as well. So solos, large ensembles,
Mhm.
hospice, and then other nonprofit organizations.
Yeah.
So those.
That's a lot. And most of your performers, are they mostly high school musicians or
Yeah, right now our members are six and above.
Mhm.
But because our pool is, here right now, we're starting. We would like to start college chapters. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but I would, I want girls or boys to grow into that position so that,
Yes.
they're moved to continue this in their, college life.
Yeah, well, it's such an amazing gift. Well, let me go back one step. What I think is really cool is that you've got a couple of people I know as harp moms on your board,
Yes.
mothers of students that I have had in various settings throughout the years. And so and of course I met you at Harp Day, so there's a harp connection there.
Yeah.
But what I really think is interesting is that this is bringing so many different kinds of people together to serve in different ways. And then it's providing this foundation for these young people when of how their music is valuable in the world.
Mm,
At Harp Mastery, we talk about harp happiness all the time.
mm,
In fact, that's, the name of the podcast, Practicing Harp Happiness. And I generally define that as being able to play the music you want the way you want.
mm.
But when we play, and this is something that is really important to me, and I make this point, at least I hope I do, is that when we play, we're really sending out that harp happiness, that wonderful musical vibration. We're sending that out into the world. We
Right.
don't know where it's going to go or what kind of effect it's going to have. But then when you take that and you put it inside um, a framework like you have with Music Angels, you can see the impact that it
Right.
has.
Yes, yeah, it was really, really wonderful to meet you that day, by the way. I just want to go back and say that. Yeah, Diane Venezia and I, she was the one of the first person I met when I moved to Philadelphia.
Mhm. Well,
And
I'll tell you, people on this podcast will know the last name Venezia because they know her daughter Mia, who is one of our certified coaches and works as part of our Harp Mastery team. So Mia's mom, Diane, is part of the board that you
yeah,
have.
she's
So
my vice president. All the members from my board is so aligned with the mission. And we put in about 100 to 150 hours a month, volunteer hours, just adults alone, so that we can create, this organization to, be good for the kids and then other volunteers to serve. So we're putting in a lot of hours I mean, also because we're just starting and there's a lot to do.
yeah. What else do you see for Music Angels?
I do need a little bit more, not little bit, but I do need more musical volunteers and
Mm,
musical or not non-musical. We are just beginning to research for grants
mm,
to see if we can actually. Probably not going to happen this year, but
mhm.
again, we just started this year, right?
Yeah.
One first year. So I would like to have more music therapist workshops and
Ah.
open it more to the public as well
Mhm.
as our members. And I would like to do more work with we haven't gone there, but I want to get into the domestic violence victims
Mm,
facilities, the safe houses.
yeah.
That's one of my next vision. And also those immigrant housings, temporary
Mm,
housings. And we would like to also eventually, if we and when we have set this organization, um, maybe offer very small amount of number of students who can't afford to have music lessons or instruments.
Hmm.
Um, we're not gonna say our volunteers, our students are gonna be teaching, but they can assist in helping them practice. So the
Hmm.
assisting in the practice portion, under the, other master teachers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those kind
No,
of things.
well, I'd love to get glimpses of the vision for
Yeah.
something like this.
And then this summer, I'm happy to announce that I will be taking some students to Madrid, Spain,
Oh.
and we are going to be performing in Spain. But we are right now. I'm researching to go to this the refugee camps, so that the students are not just just performing here in America, but
Hmm.
eventually, you know, going to places. Obviously they need to be safe,
Yes.
making a difference and seeing the world, differently as well.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, so here we are. We're in the Philadelphia area, and obviously, anybody in the Philadelphia area who wants to get involved has a couple different ways to do that, right?
Yes, you can check out our website and there's a contact information and there's also registration as well. Um, and you don't there is no requirement for you to be a musician. I always need help with, I don't know, grant research or even event planning, or people who can just help me move some tables, or like carry some signs, or so.
Transportation or something, yeah?
Yeah, things like that. I always need extra hands. If I have pool of people, volunteers that's on our roster, when we send out the sign-ups, so when you register to be volunteers with us,
Hmm.
in our Music Angels, we number one will send out sign-ups for each event that we actually coordinate.
Hmm.
And then members sign up. We are going to Camilla Hall this weekend. That's where retired and hospice for retired IHM sisters.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
So we're going to be doing music therapy and then large performances, including solo as well. So it's
Nice.
going to be mixture of the performances.
Hmm.
And then we need people taking photos. We need people helping me with PR because I'm not very good at it.
Well, and because you're very busy doing a lot of things.
Yeah, but I really believe that, this mission is is impactful in this
Hmm.
society and community, that people will know that this is not for waste, and this is for
Yes,
something that will, I hope that the society will need and community will use, you
for
know.
sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Now, I have another question that maybe might be a little bit more difficult. So we have people listening to this podcast from all over the world. So what would you say to those people who aren't, here in the Philadelphia area to actually lend a hand this way? What could they take from your message today
Yeah.
to into their own hearts and their own communities?
Yeah. So if you're gifted with music,
Hmm.
go out and make a difference through music. Go out. There's so many people who needs to hear your music. Um, it doesn't have to be fancy performance settings. It really
Hmm.
doesn't have to. Please share your musical gift with others so that people can be touched by your beauty.
Thank you for that. That I could not have expressed it better, and many times I have tried to, but that was really really just wonderful. Well, Leah, thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank
It's
you.
just an inspiration, and as we are getting this out today, tomorrow's Giving Tuesday. Maybe some of those people will, well, maybe people in the Philadelphia area will be inspired to come and visit your website and be part of Music Angels. And whoever is listening in farther away places, this is the time. You don't have to just, Giving Tuesday is a great thing, but it doesn't mean you have to write a check or, send a Venmo or something.
Mm.
Give your music to somebody. Let
Yes.
that be part of the gift, yeah?
Yes, yes, absolutely. And say a prayer for us.
Absolutely. I will do that. Well, thank you, Leah, so much for talking with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Oh,
having
of course.
me.
And best of luck with Music Angels. I think it's a wonderful thing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Leah Kim. She's a remarkable person and just so magnetic, as I think you could hear. I have put the link to her Music Angels website in the show notes for today's episode. So if you want to go ahead and check that out, check out their newsletter, check out their board, see more of the story of what Music Angels does, I highly encourage you to do that. I've also, of course, put a link to our 12 days of Harp Happiness, because Harp Happiness is what we're about here. And you can see that it's not unique to harpists, because I think music happiness is a lot of what Music Angels is about too. So next week on the podcast, we'll be talking about passion, purpose, and progress. So I hope that intrigues you. It's going to be another sort of reflective sort of podcast, although it's coming with a message and perhaps with some to-dos for you as well. So it's passion, purpose, and progress next week on the podcast here. In the meantime, remember that every day is a day you can add more harp happiness to the universe, to your world, and to your spirit. And all you have to do is play. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning into another episode of the Practicing Harp Happiness podcast. I release a new episode every Monday morning so you can hit your practice week running. Until then, remember to practice your harp happiness every day. See you next time.